I'm glad they got you in without a scratch. Even more glad that you're awake. You've been quite the thorn in the side for me. Don't even bother trying to move. I made sure they tied you up nicely. Now, I'm gonna take the tape off your mouth. Don't you dare try to scream. If you do, I'm gonna leave you in here for days until you act right. Good. It seems like you do have some sense in you. Now, let's talk about the trouble you've been causing me. What's wrong now? You look like you've seen a ghost. You've probably heard of me. I have made a name for myself. How do you know that name? How do you know my real name? You better answer right now before I get my henchmen in here and forcibly get some answers out of you. Oh, it's you. It's you. Gosh, you look so different now. How have you been? I'm so sorry we had to meet like this. I'm not gonna hurt you. Let me see if this makes you feel better. Go. Okay, it's just me and you. I can't believe it's you. Strange how life's work like that. How have you been? I've been good. As you can see, I didn't go into being a nurse as I planned. But even though I'm not a doctor, I can see you're tense. Relax. I set out to do my own bucket list. I had realized after college that I really haven't lived my life. So I set out to do the most crazy things ever. I skydived, bought a sports car, and sped down the highway. I traveled the world. Traveling, though, got me in trouble. In Moscow, I got in trouble with my money and asked for some help. Everyone seemed to be apathetic, until this woman came up to me with a lump sum of cash. I used it to travel back here, but when I got here, I was approached by these two men. They introduced themselves as being a part of the same Russian mob that was in Moscow, and they politely asked if they could have their money back. I didn't have it, so they gave me two ultimatums. Join, or well, worse. I had no other choice but to join. My skills as a nurse were repurposed for a more sinister role. I was able to get information from my bosses at the time, and I was quickly given more higher and higher positions. My boss at the time, Mr. Salvatore, surprisingly stepped down. That left me next in line, and now I'm here. That face. I fell in love with that face. I fell in love with you when we were in college. You were the first to approach me. The friendly face in a blank crowd. You showed me around. The different buildings, where everything was located, the dorms, and more. You were amazing. And all these years away from you has made me so lonely. I thought of you from time to time, but I was so scared to call or see you. I didn't want you getting tangled up in this way of life. It's too dangerous. You really still want to be with me? Regardless of danger? Okay then. I'm gonna ask you this once and only once. How would you feel about joining me?